Hi everyone, you're listening to the Via Lucci podcast, uncensored and completely unedited discussions about life and everything in it. We hope you enjoy the show.
I'm going to have to leave my phone on because I've left my watch indoors again.
Why?
Why what? The watch, or why did I have to say that?
Yeah.
No,
Hi everyone.
I went to the gym beforehand and I forgot to put my watch on like I did last week.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone. Hello Shanice.
Hi.
How you doing? You okay?
I'm good.
Shanice, you're a podcaster.
Yes, I am.
And tell us what the show is and what it's about.
So I have a podcast called It's a Queer Thing, and it's essentially just about me like talking about queer media that I like, I've watched in the past, and just assessing it. And just, it's a fun ride.
We was talking about media before the show got going. There's a channel online, I can't remember the name of it, and I think it's a monthly thing. And they had the Kardashians, is that them?
They are a thing.
Yeah,
yes.
The family or whatever.
Yeah.
I still don't know what they do. But they were showing, they were
Yeah.
showing what, she was just saying what they looked like, and then the reality of like video footage of what they actually look like.
Yeah.
They don't even look like they're related. It's the same person.
They often have to have a caption on who it is, because sometimes I'll see a lady and I'm like, who is this dark-haired lady? And then they're like, oh, that's one of the Kardashians. And I was like, they didn't look like that 3 weeks ago. They're in like a constant state of flux, their appearance, basically.
Because I watched like their show, like Guilty Pleasure, whatever. So I know what they all look like. So
You know what they used to
but I
look
still
like.
know. I still can clock which is which.
But when I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe that was the same person.
Yeah.
Like that's just fake.
Like Kim is just, if you see a picture
How many
of
are
her,
there? 3?
4?
There's like 3, like the older sisters, they're all Kardashians.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 young girls and they're just Jenner Kardashian.
What does that mean?
Because like they've got different dads.
Oh, right.
And then
okay.
they've got a brother who's like basically not in the limelight.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, who didn't he like? He was in the relationship with China, I believe.
Yeah,
yes.
Black China.
Is that her name? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And she used to like basically bully him loads.
Yeah.
It seemed.
Yeah.
And he was like some little fat guy, and he was like, yeah, maybe we could like. And she's like, shut up.
Yeah, she was like, but the thing with her is, so one of the younger sisters, I think it's Kylie, she has a child with a guy, or she dated a guy called Tiger, and Tiger has a child with Black China. It's all messy.
That's
Why'd you say Black China? There's 2 of them.
That's no, her name's Black China.
That's her first and second name.
It's like a stage name.
Oh, right. Okay. It's a Black China.
so,
It was a white one.
you wouldn't be like black.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit over
Is
the
there a
top.
white
That's her
China?
first name. Yeah, that's not her first name.
Oh, God. What is it they do?
They're just TV personalities.
Where did they come from, though? They're Spanish or something?
They're Armenian.
Armenian.
Yeah, Armenian.
And how did they start out? Porn? Is it something like that?
There was a sex tape.
Yeah, I thought it was something.
They I don't know.
They all did it.
Kim was
No.
friends with. They all did a sex tape. No, Kim was friends with Paris Hilton.
No, I mean individually.
Just
They
all
had
up
their
in the
individual
sex
chapter.
tape.
Yeah.
No, Kim was friends with like Paris Hilton at the
Oh,
time.
right, yeah.
Paris Hilton was quite big, and then they came out with their Kardashian show, and that's when people started to like follow them a bit more.
So they were like it girls.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, it girls.
Hollow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nothing.
yeah.
My mum used to watch it. She's like,
Oh.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's what she said. She kept on saying, I don't get it. What do they do? Why is this on TV?
Yeah.
What are their jobs?
And they've been around a while and I still don't know what they do.
They got cancelled and I think they're on Disney Plus now.
Do you mean literally cancelled or socially cancelled?
Their show, the network they were on, it got cancelled and they picked up on another
And
network.
can you swear on it? Is it one of them or is it a bit more Disney-ish?
To be honest, I've never watched it. I've never watched the new series.
Do you know what I see the other day? Shanice, I don't know what films you're into, but the new, I don't know if it is a new, no, it is a Predator film called Prey.
Oh,
yeah.
I did want to see that.
I want to watch that as well. I've heard really good reviews about that. They said it's as good as the first movie.
The online reviews don't match up to the film.
In what way? Because I can imagine
Do you
that
like
there
it or
is
no?
No.
I can imagine there is a big. It's a
slightly
love or hate movie.
Disneyficationed the main lead, the young girl. It's the Terminator 5 thing. It's the 14-year-old girl who beats up everyone.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be human.
Yeah.
But somehow she can just do whatever. She's part of a tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
she's Comanche.
Yeah. she seems to be a better fighter than all the tribe fight leaders for no reason. She hasn't been tested. She wants to fight, but they say no. But somehow she's still
got the skill set.
She literally gets in a fist fight with one of the main hunters and beats him up. And you go, she's a 14-year-old kid. The predator kills them all hand by hand. There's another group that come along with guns. He literally goes through them one by one, hand by hand, massacres them all.
Cool.
But there's a point where she starts fighting him, and she's just like she's a normal person, a kid. Yeah. She's jumping through his legs, jumping on top of him, strangling him through the legs again, wrapping him up. And you go,
but that's the thing with media, though. Like, it doesn't have to. It's not it doesn't have to be believable.
But it doesn't make any sense to the character because her thing is she's like a kid.
Yeah,
and she wants to be a fighter, but they're saying it's over.
You've accepted the giant
7-foot
invisible alien who hunts has come here for a hunt. That's fine.
Yeah, no,
that's fine.
No, but
the fact that
aliens is fine, mate. There's no. I can believe aliens.
A more petite lady can dive around and do some action stuff. That's completely thrown
because
you off.
you could just go, well, it's a kids' film, whatever.
Yeah,
but no,
kids' film.
It's quite gory. It's actually overly gory that you'd think now. So they've done that thing that you want to see the Predator do, just weapons that you haven't seen before, hand-to-hand combat.
I'm here for that.
But you go, okay, I get it. This would make more sense as a kids' film and remove the gore. But what you've tried to do is they go too far. We talked about this on the last podcast when we talked about snowflakes, which I hate having to go at the left because I'm on that side. But you go too far. You give them reasons to point at, and you could just see it again and again in this, where she's just a member of the tribe. They're all supposed to get on, a member of the tribe. But she wants to go and fight and be a fighter. And they're saying, look, you're a kid. And the whole thing is everyone just telling her she can't. You go, but you're a kid. You literally can't. Oh, she can. She can just do everything. And then her skills... You go, well, this isn't reality anymore now. How can you be on the back of the predator strangling him? Yeah, but... And all your the best fighter is even getting slain by him, but you're a kid, and now you're beating him. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I haven't watched it,
and there's things they do with like coincidences, and you go, oh no, come on! Like he had to be there at that moment in that specific.
Have you seen the last Predator film though?
I gave
previous
it
one.
No, I gave it. It just becomes silly.
It was awful.
Oh, well, there's awful CGI in this one as well.
Okay, but I've heard the animal stuff is very good. But okay, but it's like people had to go at the new Terminator, like Terminator Salvation.
But
like I watched that and I was like, oh, it's all right.
I didn't hate it.
It was all right. Like it was infinitely better than Genesis, which was awful.
Yeah,
which was so bad.
But that's what this reminds me. It's got the same thing. It's the CGI is bad. The story doesn't match up. You've tried to push this thing of like, oh, I'm being told what to do, and you go, yeah, okay, say it once. Don't keep telling people why do you want to do something? Because everyone tells me I can't. And somebody is saying, you're a girl. You go, oh, come on. Like, they're supposed to be in the same tribe, not just putting somebody down constantly. And then, like with Terminator 5, with the young girl just jumping around, this thing kills out commando set, but you're jumping around it and suddenly it can't fight. And, oh, come on. You're making it worse. Like, just have it as a... You do come across and you do achieve things, but you do things by different means. Or don't just go, well, yeah, I can jump around and flick around and I'm not scared of an alien. I can jump on its back. But it's wiped out tribes of fighters that fight. And it's just, you've ruined it by being too left. You've done that thing again of giving them reasons to hate the film. Yeah. So I looked at the reviews. I thought, well, let me look at this because I can guarantee. And it was all... 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. And then everyone else going, why is everyone saying this? This is definitely people have, these aren't real reviews. This is like 9 out of 5. I think that does not make sense. And then everyone's watching going, that is ridiculous. Like, this film is stupid. Like, that does not make sense.
Just seeing the trailer, I thought, yeah, this is a film that's going to get a lot of 5 and 1 star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are going to...
I didn't even know it was a Predator movie, though, when I saw the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't called it. Maybe they've just worn the name out. I thought it was a legal thing. But you go, no, it is the Predator.
I didn't even know that. I was like, what is this? I didn't know what this film was. And then I think I was watching Comic-Con stuff and they were talking about, a new Predator movie. I was like, what? Like, I didn't know that.
I didn't even know. I'd seen the name and just bypassed it. It's only when I looked at it, I thought, oh, it's a Predator film. But I don't know what maybe it's just the new brand.
I think the last film was so bad.
Very bad.
The last Predator was so bad. It's the one with all the like military prisoners and stuff.
But they do think of that didn't work.
And
well,
the
let's go that
autistic
way.
kid and like And the autistic kid was like the savior of like
did
the
see it.
universe.
Doesn't he kill-
That was his superpower. And like the autistic kid like killed people.
He put the helmet on, didn't
yeah,
he?
and he like started killing people like randomly.
But even
I'm
that,
like, what is? I was watching. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the hell is going on? There's like a scene as well, like with Olivia Munn, and it, basically there's lots of scenes of her edited out because the director's friend was in the lots of few scenes, and he was a convicted sex offender.
Yeah.
And when Olivia Munn
I
found
remember
out,
that,
she
yeah.
insisted on having those scenes removed, and they're like, everyone was like, what?
Oh,
Like what?
gosh,
Dude?
yeah.
Like
yeah,
what?
yeah.
well, this film is the Terminator 5. That's what it is. It's not
Which
like a
Terminator are
perspective.
you talking about? Because
Genesis. It's the cinniness. It's the bad
Okay.
CGI. The premise, I thought,
the
worked.
last Predator was the Terminator Genesis of the.
the one where he fights.
I just feel that like anything after that, like
Yeah.
has to be like it has to be slight.
But that's what this film.
slighted.
It didn't film. It doesn't work as a script. Do you know what I mean? That it's not. I'm having to go at a specific thing. You go, that doesn't work there. That doesn't work with that. And I'm not being fussy, but you've just crammed all this stuff in that you're trying to get across, and it doesn't fit.
Doesn't make sense.
This film, and then the ending, it's just silly. It was the helmet thing again with the Quint and the helmet, and she knows what to do. I go, oh come on, you don't know anything. And then everyone was having to go because they were speaking English, and I thought, well, that was a bit fussy. What do you want me
It's
to do?
very
Subtitles?
fussy.
There is a version in Comanche.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
wow.
I believe, and that's actually kind of cool. Apparently, they filmed
Fair
every,
enough,
and
yeah.
they didn't overdub it. They apparently, this is what I heard. They shot every scene twice. So once where they were speaking English and once in Comanche.
That can't be right with money. That can't
so.
be. Yeah.
That's amazing.
As I said, it's the first film ever ever shot.
That sounds like a PR machine.
Yes, it is, but that's kind of cool. And I would actually watch I would
Yeah.
actually watch the subtitle version.
Yeah, that
Shame I
would
would
adds a
too.
lot. But I just think they're not going to get the benefit from the money that would cost to make two films. You're not going to get the money back. And money, that's all they care about money. Everything else is PR.
No, because it's streaming. You don't have to make money now. It's a streaming only service. So you spend, because you spend 60 million on that.
Yeah.
It's something to put on the service. It's got us talking about it.
Yeah.
I want to watch it. You've
Yeah.
watched it. Sounds
I
like
wanna
you want to
watch
watch
it.
it.
Yeah, I do wanna see it, yeah.
It sounds, and it gets a bit of buzz, a bit of thing, and people go, "Oh yeah, I'll go." It sort of gets a bit of buzz on Disney Plus, and it's just something on the Disney Plus. So when you scroll through, it's like Netflix.
Yeah. it's just something there.
Netflix don't care whether anything's good or bad, or whether people watch it or not. They just care if it's cheap to make, and it looks and it's something there. Because what they want to do is have content. It's quantity rather than quality.
Yeah, it is.
Because they just want to keep
The film,
you there.
it is
And they're-
filmed well. It looks nice, but it's just
Wasn't your cup of tea, was it?
they
Theo?
tried to cram in too much of the stuff that I thought people are going to hate this because of that. You've gone too far now. You've given them reasons to hate this film. And it was acted well and all they got, but it's another 14-year-old girl defeating things that all these human beings couldn't do on their own. And they've got the weapons. They're thrown. I mean, nothing. They wouldn't show. She's supposed to be a command. They wouldn't show her killing anything because it made her look bad.
Oh my God.
So like she tries to kill. I mean, they try to make her look strong. A bear nearly kills her. Like she fires an arrow at it, bounces off the bear. Well, she misses. She's trying to kill a rabbit. She's missing the rabbit a couple of times. And then it just cuts. She does something. She cuts, and she's got a load of rabbits on her shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Well, they didn't want to show her killing a rabbit, but she couldn't kill the rabbit to start with. She couldn't kill the bear. The bear nearly killed her. The bear would have killed her only for the alien killing the bear. So the thing that you killed the thing that you couldn't kill.
Yeah. See,
It just didn't make any sense.
that shows how powerful it is, because that's obviously probably happened in the first act, I would imagine, and that's just showing you. Oh, she is being overpowered. That's literally sort of a thing saying she's being overpowered by the bear, and then this thing comes and fucks up the bear.
But then she kills that thing. Like, well, you couldn't kill the bear, and that had no weapons.
But that's the story. Then the story is her gaining the skills.
Overcoming
that's a narrative
everything.
arc.
But that's the point. There's no sense of getting any better.
Yeah.
It's just you're telling me I can't do something.
Yeah.
And then she does them. And you go, well, where did you learn all these fighting skills? You're a 14-year-old girl. There's nothing about you training anything. You're a 14-year-old kid who hasn't even gone out hunting. She goes out hunting once and nearly gets killed by the lion, right? Because she's trying to prove something.
Yeah.
Nearly gets killed by a lion. Her brother has to kill the lion. The bear nearly kills her because she tries to kill the bear. Can't do it because she's got bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Bear nearly kills her. The alien kills the bear. But then she's hand-to-hand combat with the alien. She's jumping through its legs and running around and jumping on top and wrapping rope around it and going...
How has she got this skill set all of a sudden?
There's nothing from young girl who hasn't done any hunting, tries and gets beaten by a thing and a thing. Can't even do that.
Yeah.
then it jumps to you can kill an alien. You're not scared of it? You're a kid. No, none of that. Anyway.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah.
I don't want to have it. I watched it. Like, I didn't watch it to hate it. I thought, this is like quite new. As I said, I don't watch the Predator films anymore. I thought, this looks like quite... If you haven't got the weapons, it means you've got to be smarter.
Yeah, so it's an interesting premise, I thought.
But they did the thing. They just had a point of view they were trying to get across about the girl who's being told she can't do, and just ram it to the point where you go, well, that's not even, say it once or do it implicitly.
Don't say,
don't tell people you're a girl. There's one guy's just being nasty constantly. You can't do anything. And then he gets in a fight with her, one of the hunters, and she's beating him up. I'm thinking, well, isn't he a hunter from like what? And she's like twice his age. Why is she's boom in his face? Thinking, right, okay. She's a cage fighter now. But I tried to watch the Jurassic Park, which I never do, the last one. But it's only because people said, look, should be the last one, really. They've thrown everything at it. They've got the old people back. They can't really go anywhere with this because the end of civilization. Yeah. And I watched it. When they tried to Disneyfy the Velociraptors, have you seen it?
I seen the first. Okay. I was in the part 1 and 2 of this trilogy. I haven't seen the latest.
Oh, Dominion or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's Dominion.
There's a bit they now try to give the Velociraptors like a personality, like the family, and they're showing with the kid, and I'm going, oh no, because the music's changed. It's no longer a dangerous animal, but it's like you're looking at it, you go, there's a dangerous killing machine, but they're trying to make it look softer. Yeah, and there's a bit where they're sort of running through the forest, the kid and the parent, and then they see a rabbit. On my life, I said, right, if they do not kill that rabbit for any reason, I'm turning the film. Because the rabbit, especially in the wild, it's the fluffiest, whitest rabbit. I'm thinking, that is not designed to get eaten. It's a white, fluffy rabbit. Has it never touched any shrubbery? It's perfectly white and fluffed up. I said, right. I'm looking at it. They're both there, right?
These Hollywood rabbits.
It's clearly just been placed off a velvet cushion onto the set. It's supposed to be a wild rabbit.
Big time sort of, The
baby there's
A-listers.
Ready to go. Is training it to show it how to kill. And I said to myself, if that rabbit doesn't die, I'm turning this film off. A wolf comes, grabs the rabbit, and there you go. God forbid a velociraptor should kill something that they can't show it. So that's how I turned it off. So I'm not watching.
Did you watch all of it? You didn't watch all of it?
I gave up. I said,
to be fair, it wasn't, because I went to cinema to watch it, and
when it started off, it had the woman from the first one, especially the CEO. All she cares about money, power, and all that. And now she's just like an activist, and you can't. She has to go, really? So she just gave up, doesn't care about money anymore. Now she's risking her life, and now she's jumping over things. Oh, she's an action hero as well. And that pushed me. And then when I saw the Velociraptors and the music around it had changed, I thought, they're going to try and turn this into like a fluffy pet. It's a killing machine. I
felt like the Jurassic Park movies were a lot more violent. Like these Jurassic World movies.
I don't want to say it's a lot more real because it doesn't make any sense.
I mean violent in the sense like, when you saw the dinosaur, you saw the blood, you saw that stuff.
There was jeopardy there.
That's the word.
It's a lot more danger. And now it's like, okay, the Velociraptor is no longer a Velociraptor. Now it's a silly animal that you can communicate and pet with, and it's not trying to kill you or rip you apart.
Yeah, because they're going, okay, people thought liked the first film at least.
The first film,
The first film at least. But and they thought like Velociraptors were cool and like T-Rex is cool. So we'll take those things and we'll make them kind of cool. Because people like that. They don't want to see them as the villain.
But that's what I mean. That is what the danger was, part of it being the cool thing. It was just like
that's the thing.
When you go, now we're going to show the family, you could go, but create something else. Don't take a monster and go, look at it bringing up its kids. And there's a rabbit. Oh, but it can't kill. Somebody else has got to kill the rabbit.
Unless you're going to make a point that actually you can't tame nature and actually they just go wild.
They're not thinking that deep. Don't get philosophical. They're thinking
every Jurassic Park movie does that. They you can't change something's nature. They're wild animals. They can't rescue. Like, so you could do that. You could say, hey, like sort of King Kong. Hey, we can chain this, this majestic hunter and this giant creature up, but it will ultimately just go mad and break out and just eat everyone. Yeah.
But I'm assuming they didn't do that. I know what happened. At the end, the Velociraptor would have saved somebody, or no?
Yeah, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
High five the T-Rex. Yeah.
High five the script writers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, wink to the camera.
But when I was watching this, I had to
Jump
force.
on a motorbike and drive.
Yeah. Grabs a kid and puts it on his back. Yeah.
Just all of the
And you're
above.
I'm just sitting there going, okay, this isn't my generation anymore. But when I watched this, I honestly was thinking, as I was watching it, I was thinking, Hollywood's done. It's now got into a loop of the same writers trying to please the film producers, and they're going down in this loop. And as I said before with somebody, the Asian market, the Chinese, they're now making the action films that people want to see.
Yeah.
They've banned feminine people on screen. They're now just doing machine guns, zombie films. They're doing. Meanwhile, Hollywood's just going down its own arsehole. It's just becoming stupid.
Nothing original in Hollywood
it's
anymore.
It's the constant Disneyfying dinosaurs and
I think
predators.
the streaming, the streaming wars or streaming has changed movies quite drastically, because there is now sort of big blockbusters that feel the need to play it safe because they are so expensive.
So much money
now. They're so expensive to me, so they play it very safe. And then there's everything else just seems to go on streaming.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, talking about Prey, I guess at the top of my head, I reckon that the film probably had a budget 60 to 80 million, I guess. And
could have been a proper film, but it's
a
like
mid-range film. You know what I mean? And like all those things, like what was it, The Grey Man?
Yeah.
didn't see that.
I think it's something on Netflix. It's just like, let's get a star and stick them in a bang average action movie. You know what I mean? We'll get like,
Just throw money at it.
we'll get, I don't know, Chris Pratt or another Chris,
Another Pratt.
Chris Evans.
And I'll leave it at
Chris
that.
Evans or someone, or we'll get a couple of named people that you've seen. You go, oh right, you're Christopher Walken and stuff, and someone
Yeah.
else, and then like you just stick them in just a really generic bang average film. I've seen a bunch of terrible ones with the other Chris,
Which one?
Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Chris Pratt.
That's Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen he did this one and it was like a time travel thing. And like,
Was that the one on? Oh, it was
on Amazon.
It was
It was
on
on
Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked weird.
it was nonsense.
Yeah, just
Was it enjoyable nonsense? No. It was kind of really obvious as well, because like, I don't know.
I don't blame any of the actors, by the way.
No, because
you're an actor, you act, and you get money. And
Yeah.
Oh, they get paid a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
He's like most of the budget probably going on him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, getting that star.
yeah, getting that star. Because
even
that's why I watched it, because it had him in it. You know what I mean? Because then that's why that's the thing with the streamings. You sort of, it's like straight to video stuff. There used to be straight to video stuff, and now you're just sort of going through and you go, oh, that's got someone I've heard of. Okay, I'll give that. It's got a weird cover. Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
give it a
there we go.
watch. See what happens. Yeah.
Well, I said the film, the acting, the thing, how it's filmed is always great. Everything. The alien looked good.
Yeah.
Fight scenes with just the alien attacking normal people went the way you would think it would went. Sometimes you got a smack, sometimes because they did this and they tricked it, and the thing, and the guys with the guns came along. But they stuck in that storyline of the young 14-year-old girl, just bollocksed it all up.
Did the alien tech, because it was like 200 years ago? Was it all
Yeah,
just
it was
the
supposed
same
to be
stuff?
no, there's a lot more. You got the idea that like there's a bit where a wolf goes to attack it, and it sort of gets down on its hands and knees as well, as if like everything has to be equaled up.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
But it doesn't hold to it. Like it starts to do other things. You go, oh, well, hang on, he didn't have a weapon.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they claim that they're like, well, not they. I've never talked to a predator, so I don't know. But like, they would appear to be sort of very, have a code of honor, but they don't really.
No,
no.
but this, you got the idea that it was like fresh, because you see the ship come down, it drops it off, and then it disappears again. And it does try to level things up, but he gets his ass kicked quite a bit. He gets in the bear. The bear. If you've seen the trailer, you see the bear bit,
Yeah, I think it's in.
but it's not what's in the film. It's a different. It's almost like a different version. In the film, he actually has a fight with the bear, and the bear kicks the predator's ass because he's invisible at the time.
Oh, sure.
But every time he gets bitten, he can see. So it fights with it. The fights with the bear. but then it doesn't. How it ends doesn't end how it ends in the trailer. So
They often do that
Yeah,
for trailers
they do.
now.
It's quite annoying because you
But the
think,
fight
I
you
want to
see
see that
them-
scene.
Yes, and they do, and I know that like Marvel sometimes do. They'll change the backgrounds for stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll show a bit
fair
where they're
enough.
fighting in an
Yeah.
alleyway or whatever. So you think, okay, there's a bit where they're
seen it,
fighting in the
yeah,
alleyway,
yeah.
and you kind of have that in your head, and then
You go to the film and it's like, what? Where's the
they're fighting
alleyway?
on a beach or something, and you're like, oh, hang on a sec,
Yeah,
what-
because when I watched it, took me out of it because I was thinking, hang on, but didn't he just kill it there? What's the fight bit? But yeah, it gets its fucking ass kicked and the bear sort of growling. Like, because you see them both like hand fist, like the bear has got this thing and it's going for him again. Well done. Like,
That's cool.
So there was things like that, and you'd see, and there's a bit where like these New Englanders come out the forest, with guns that you think it's set. Then all these people come out with guns, with like muskets.
Yeah.
But there's like 50 of them. And then the predator just like sort of swarms through them with weapons, which you go, okay, it's quite good because you can see it, and he looks a different alien, and it's all these weapons are coming out and some you recognise. But then it's just that thing, the girl just knows everything and beats everyone up. It's just ruined it. Bloody everything else about it was great. It was too much, and they rammed it down your throat. So anyway, you watch it just to see the Predator again.
I have watched. I was going to say I would watch a bad Predator movie. I have watched bad Predator.
You watch it for the
movies, and I will
Predator.
continue to watch bad Predator
Same.
movies.
It's all
like
the
I
people
watch
that
bad. I watch bad Terminator movies because hell, that's all they're giving me right now. You know what I mean?
So true.
And I will eat a bowl of it.
Yeah.
Like a good little
Like,
boy.
oh, a new Terminator movie? Great.
But you have to cut out the script and all the other actors in it. Just get to the bit with the Predator and
Let me just see the Terminator.
yeah, I don't need the love story. I don't need the 14-year-old. Oh, anyway, so yeah, I haven't given a review, but just it's up to you. And it's one of them things as well that felt long because it's a lot of nothing going on.
How long is the movie? Is it like an hour and a
It
bit?
feels like 2 hours.
Is it?
But it's a lot
I
of.
think it's an hour and 40, I believe.
There's a lot of scenery and walking along and talking to the dog and. I mean, there's conversations going. You know, they do when there's no panic. Like the Marvels would do this when there's supposed to be danger, but they're sort of joking with each other and being sarcastic. The kid and
Adding that humour in a little bit.
yeah, the kid and her brother. Like there's people have been obliterated around them, pinging off the head. And they're sort of like, oh, well, when you was a kid, yeah,
Having a bantery
and going,
conversation.
okay, no threat, she's fine.
Well, you can't.
He will die.
People can't feel tense at any
Yeah.
point. That's the thing. Is I like the Marvel movies, but like that is a very valid criticism. Of
Yeah,
that is that like they pull back quite a lot because they don't want to make you feel too sad. They don't want to make you feel too tense.
they're
They
the
don't make
worst
you go,
one. There is no threat.
Oh, and like
It's
you
like,
know,
well, no, oh, but you.
But then,
oh,
like,
you're
that's
being killed at the moment,
that's
and you're
kind
joking.
of what you want. You know, that's
No,
kind of what I
that's
want
not.
from a story. So I'm saying that I want like a mode. I want to be affected by it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I
same.
want to have that.
Yeah, I don't know what their
emotional
benefit is to ruin it. You can't. Why you take away the threat? I don't understand it.
As I said, I think it's just to make it more accessible because otherwise people, I mean,
Water it down to
it's
everyone.
A good, yeah, it seems to be a successful model because I mean, you know,
Yeah, well, that's the
that's
thing.
money,
It works. Yeah.
you know, but like it's just to make it less so people. Yeah, I think it's just to get the sort of broadest range of people. So people are like, oh no, I don't want to watch that. That's too violent. Or
You
that's
have
too.
to
You've got kids that watch it as well. You want it to be entertaining. You don't want
that's
to go
the-
down that route of,
and you've got to sell those toys as well.
Yeah, exactly.
the merchandise.
it's all the marketing. It's all about marketing.
Well, that's the thing. You do have to let go and go. This isn't about filmmaking. This is about money making.
it is.
They need laughter and humor and fun in whatever the horror is. We need to have all this in there. We need to have 30 jokes. Yeah, it's about threat and the end of the world. No, we have to have 30 jokes. We have to have 2 love stories. We have to have friendships and blah, 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 and joking and sarcasm. We've got to fit it in somewhere. So let's stick it in the action scene. Yeah. Like, it's money. Why do I have to keep resetting my brain? It's not a film to be enjoyed by a select group of people. It's designed to be as watered down as possible to fit everybody in. Yeah. Conan, when Schwarzenegger's autobiography, he said Conan the Destroyer, or the first one, whatever it was.
Barbarian.
Tried to follow, cut him a beard, don't give a shit, throw people away, blah, blah, blah. Great film. Money comes along. Right, now put the love story in. Now we're going to have the funny guy. Now we're going to have the comical guy who falls over. And you go, this is done. This isn't the story of this. But they're making money. They're not trying to please you. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why it's made that way.
I remember when I was studying like film at A level, my teacher was like, we were talking about films, and he was basically saying like, love stories sell. Like, whenever you put a love story in, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
Like that's that. Like, and then I've watched films where I'm like, why do we need this love story?
Yeah.
It just ruins the whole thing. That's because people, I guess, want to some people want to see that, and it sells.
Yeah, a lot of the gangster films got like the Scorsese. There was always a bloody love story they had to jam in, and the people say that's the bit I hate.
Yeah.
It's like it makes the audience like a matchmaker. You go, I really want to see those people together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like getting your friends together. You know what I mean? You go, oh, I really hope they hit it off.
I remember you saying before the show you didn't like your filmmaking course, and I stopped. What did you think? What off the top of your head did you like, and what did you think was no point to that? What?
It was because like when I did my second year, like I think I mentioned to you, like I did the script writing course, and you only had to choose between horror and sci-fi, and I like those genres in terms of how you make it, but I just felt like it didn't really give me time to get really in depth into script writing. Like what I would do is you write a horror script that was like 15 minutes long, then you'd film it. And that's cool, you get to film it, but I want to study the craft of script writing. I want to do a deep dive, and I
would have thought that they'd force everyone out their comfort zone and say, right.
I didn't feel like that.
You have to do horror, you have to do sci-fi, but you have to do love, you have to do comedy. We need to force people because everyone's got to have their own little niche. But surely the art of teaching script writing would mean we've got to force you to do everything.
Yeah,
That's very much the case. Well, it should be, but when I did a script writing masters, and and people very much. There was a lot of people who very much wanted to just do
the thing they like.
The thing that they like.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to do horror movies. Now I'm interested in horror movies, and I'm not really interested in anything else. So I want to do comedies, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And we were actually having to, and the lecturers were actually sort of saying, no, it'd be good to try and do something right. What's the genre you like most? We'll do something completely different.
Yeah.
Push yourself a little. And they were like, and there were some people who were like, no, I'm not interested. I'm just going to do another. They're like, there's one guy who was just constantly writing
John Carpenter films.
No, stuff about being in a band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Specific.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Do you want to be a musician?
If I told you what he looked like as well, he had like black jeans, black shirt. He dressed like Russell Brand, but had like long hair,
Amazing.
black shirt with
As long as he committed to it.
chains and stuff and shades constantly, even in dead of winter, shades.
Yeah.
And like he had like, I don't know, he was like, call me Piotr. And you're like,
God.
something like that. He had like one
Polish.
name, and just one name.
Yeah.
Just one name.
Like Cher. And I was
Standard.
like, oh, like Cher.
Oh, he had one.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm sure he had more than that,
Yeah.
but like that was
It didn't fit his brand.
No,
Yeah,
the
that's it.
Russell brand, so he just all he did was just want to do stories about dudes in bands, like I don't know. There was a band, and then they get like hunted by a serial killer, or there was a band, and then like aliens invade, or there was a band.
It's amazing.
And like I don't know, they fall into a portal and fall in love with like a lady. I was like, you know what I mean? And like, or there was a band, and then they live in a house, and it's like a sitcom. You know what I mean?
I love that. It's kind of there's something really original and different about it. Like it's just different.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened to him.
What did you think about your course? Do you think it was beneficial?
I'm
sure it was, but do you think it was worth the...
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I met some people.
See, I went to uni, like when I look back on my uni experience, I went there for fun. Like I really, like now when I left uni, I'd see so many different like apprenticeships and like things where like you didn't have to like pay all that money to get into TV. Like, you know, like, which is crazy.
We said on the show before, but
kind of learning on the job, like a bit of actual
experience, whereas like you're not in a like lecture room learning all this stuff.
Well, that's the
like
thing.
you're not going to really think about when you leave.
When you realise that the 4 years, you go 3 years was nothing. That could have been a lot better spent working for free somewhere.
Yeah.
The year would have helped me that, and I figured that out. And it's across the board. Yeah. Unless I said the university should be for the sciences only. You want to be a doctor. We've got to actually grind stuff out. Creative industries. 4 years isn't that you can't.
Not many people. I don't think many people are going to uni for creativity anymore. Yeah. Like they're finding all these different like areas that they can get into. Yeah. Like because like when I left uni, I was at home for like so long, like just working, and I almost gave up wanting to get into TV because I just didn't think it would happen. And then someone sent me this flyer for this like kind of learning course, kind of production course thing called Mama Youth Project, like which basically allowed you to do like hands-on experience, make a TV show for actual like for Sky, and it gets shown on the TV, and you get a credit and everything, and like that gave me the experience I needed, and that gave me the way into TV.
Yeah, and you just learned the things you needed to learn on the in the set.
Yeah, it put me in the deep
Yeah.
end. Like there was the pressure of like what it means to write up like, you know, like a document that needs to be sent to the producer, what it means to like actually contacting like, you know, people to contribute to like the piece and like really working with a team of people.
And all the money debt that you haven't got because...
Yeah, because we didn't have no money to like, we had to like do it all without money. Like, so you're talking to like, because I was a music researcher. So then you're talking to people who work at all these big music companies, trying to get all these music guests on your show. Like, and of course they're going to say no because you're not paying them. But it taught you how to like do all that.
When did you do your course? When did that end? When did your course? What year?
Roughly. A long time ago. I don't know. I think about 6-7 years ago.
Oh, not that long ago. When did yours end? Recently?
2015.
About the same.
See, I thought you were young. I still see you again. You're like him. I'm David.
How old do you think I was?
I'll never give ages, but I just thought, I don't know. People just got
I
young
did mine
energy.
when I was a bit older. So, I did. I think I...
So was yours free?
No.
Oh, you had to pay. When did the university stop being free? I don't know. About
the 90s or something.
no,
Yeah.
that far back.
Yeah. I mean, it depends because it's like when I initially went to university, I got my undergraduate, whenever the hell that was. When was the Iraq War?
Oh God,
Oh my gosh, wow.
2003 or 2004, 2005, 2006, something like that. Anyway, because I went to Birmingham for a bit, didn't work out, so I ended up going somewhere else, going to Exeter, and it was means tested basically. So it's means tested, like your fees. I was going to say lucky, but because of my circumstances, I didn't pay any fees. So that was something. I think nowadays they have raised the cap and it's stopped into, I think it's like 10 grand a year now.
Yeah.
Like for people, depending on their circumstances. And it's dependent on your parents' circumstances, which isn't really fair because that presupposes that you actually have parents who are going to support you and are able to support you, who want to support you. I mean, because
It's not always the case, is it?
it's not always the case. No, I mean, you might not be in contact with your parents. You might have parents who say, "That's a load of rubbish. I'm not paying you to do that. Get a job." You know what I mean? So that's not really that. It's
it doesn't
not really
help,
that fair.
Yeah.
And like the way student debts are structured nowadays. I mean, they're talking about kids on student debts now. I think the last 5 or 6 years, so before a certain date. It's literally like it's linked to the actual real inflation in this country. So they're looking at like maybe 17% interest by the end of the year. Yeah. Which is just, I mean, my student loan is so big that I just laugh. Like when I get there every year, every year I get the thing through and I say, you might as well stick a couple of zeros on that.
If you're making up numbers, why not just make it a comedy?
It's just funny. You know what I mean? It's just,
That's education. Just make it for the. We said this before. If I was in charge of the planet, this is what we do. Free university. If you're 30, you can do anything for free for a year because now you know who you are. And before then, it's for the sciences only. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a dentist, then you can do it at 18. But you can't be having people that going into university don't know who they are yet at 18 and saying, right, start climbing the ladder. You don't know who you are. Then you got to try and get off of it again. Now you're in debt with this and that, and it's almost like it's like abuse, really. Having killed kids that are too young to stick them into debt, get into things that they didn't even know what on. Unless, like the movie thing, no, that's what it's designed to do. It's not designed to make films. The university is not designed to educate people. It's designed there to make money. So don't worry about people.
It's to make money.
It's there to make money. Until you accept that, then you've got to keep going. Why this? Why that? Why that? It's just to make money. But I'm glad I didn't have to go through all that. And I did it right.
I mean, I have a degree in philosophy and politics and a master's in screenwriting. So obviously, and as I joke to my mum sometimes, I'm like, why did you let me do this? Why did you let me double down with the master's in screenwriting as well, just to make me completely unemployable?
Oh, she did the master's, right?
Yeah. So it's like you just,
you put all your eggs in one basket.
Why not business studies or economics? There we go. Economics would have actually had a
do filmmaking on the side.
But just
masters.
But just God.
What do you have to do to get to masters? Do you have to do a normal course?
Yeah, you got to do an undergraduate course.
So what does the masters do that doesn't? Because
that's just like a 2-year a 1-year course.
Yeah, what does that go into that doesn't?
Well, that's just because you just sort of have a BA, a Bachelor or BS.
Yeah.
Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science. And then that's usually a 3-year undergraduate course. And then you do your master's, which is 1 or 2 years, depending on how, the timescales. And then after that, you can do a PhD. So,
Oh, right. In filmmaking.
Or
At that point,
whatever you're studying.
Have you made any films yet? No, but I've been training for 9 years. PhD.
Yeah.
What the?
yeah.
PhD. But that's you got to be a teacher then. You're not a filmmaker. You've got to be a teacher.
That's
What a sad thing that would
a
be.
teaching element to it.
Right.
It's a job, you know what I mean? It's a job.
My best friend's doing a PhD next week. She's
In
gonna
filmmaking?
No,
Oh.
in philosophy. And
cool.
next week she'll find out if she'll become like an actual doctor. Like, yeah.
So you got so PhD really you're going to be a teacher because is that it? No,
There is a teaching element of it.
yeah,
You have to teach.
she,
because that's a lot of training to go. We haven't actually done the job.
You have to. I know that, like at my university, I assume it's the same, but like they have PhD students who did take some seminars and stuff here and there, and like sort of sessions, like kind of group sessions and stuff, and like sort of not, and occasionally lectures as well. So they did do some teaching, basically.
My best friend, she what she did was she went to Birmingham Uni, just did all her course there, decided she wanted to do a PhD, and she went to Canada and studied at McGill University and was doing the teaching stuff there. But she's travelled around to kind of aid her, like doing her PhD and all this kind of stuff, and just writing papers and things. And yeah.
What university did you go to?
I went to Buxton Uni in High Wycombe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that how you came from Birmingham? Not Birmingham.
Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Was that how you came
I detected a little bit of an accent.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, yes.
Is that how you ended up down here, or was that where your
Yeah,
mum moved?
basically what happened was I went to uni. I went from Wolverhampton to the south. Went there for 3 years, then moved back home.
Oh, okay.
Was there for like quite a while, and I got on that course, the training course, and that's how I moved to London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where do you live now?
I live North London.
Oh, I thought. Mill Hill.
No, Muswell Hill,
Muswell
yeah.
Hill. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Don't dox anyone. Keep it.
I speak
They
to so
won't
many
know where.
people.
They don't want to know where. They won't know where.
It's a broad area.
Just you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because you come from a single parent family.
Yeah.
We was talking before the show just about uni and family and things like that and how it affects your future.
Yeah.
So what's your ideal job? Have you got an ideal job in your head at the moment?
Ideal job.
I know you said you're creative. You haven't figured it out yet.
Well,
Your storytelling.
someone
came up.
asked me this the other day because I was talking about podcasts, and I just want to be probably some sort of producer.
Yeah.
Just like, I actually want my own company that produces just different kinds of content, like whether it be like online, like, like on TV, just radio, whatever it is.
Things are constantly shifting anyway.
Yeah,
You never know what content means in the future.
Yeah, I want to dip my hand in all of it, really.
What made you start the podcast? What did you think that you wanted to get out? You said media.
Yeah, well, I think I was talking to you about the pandemic, and
Yeah.
I was like wanting something to do during the pandemic, and I sort of drifted off away from that during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And this year I came back to it, just with a different strategy, and just
So what are you trying to talk about in your shows?
just like things I've watched, like, because I've watched a lot of TV.
But your podcast called It's a Queer Thing.
Yeah.
So what's the take on what you're seeing?
It's queer media, like
Oh,
things
okay,
that I
right.
watch, like
How it's presented.
with queer characters. Yeah, like, like there's like different tropes within queer media where you've got this thing called Bury Your Gays, where there's a lot of gay characters on TV
Yeah.
that are constantly killed. Like, it's a thing. Like,
Gay?
Yeah, gay, lesbian, whatever. If you're
Really?
queer, yeah.
Oh.
It's a trope, like, where you've got a lot of queer characters who, like, they're just like a background character, and then they're there for a bit, and you kill them for like to push someone else's story forward.
Oh,
It's an
okay.
actual
Get them out of
thing,
the way.
Yeah.
It's a bit like fridging.
What's fridging?
Fridging.
Fridging is a term.
When it was modern as
Is that to
you.
do with women and
Yes,
yeah, I think
yes.
yeah.
What is it?
This is a term where basically it was where it's started off in comics, but it's sort of has gone into other media. It's basically where you kill off a lady
Yeah.
to sort of give a male character a
Literally
motivation.
like
So you
that,
kill
yeah.
off like the girlfriend or the wife or the sister. Or
Oh,
the
yeah, there's a lot
and
of
then
that.
There's a lot of that, and it spurs the male
Right.
character onto
okay.
vengeance and action.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it literally
yeah.
is because I think it's a Flash comic, and they killed his
Is it Iris?
girlfriend.
Did they kill Iris?
Maybe I'm not very versed in the Flash myself, but like, but yeah, they killed her and put her in a fridge. So he opened up the fridge and she was just
Harsh.
like,
Fridging was born.
and fridging, they fridged her, yeah.
And that's so mad.
Oh, right. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to that. Yeah. Like, basically, queer characters on TV and in media, you know, they're not treated as well as like heterosexual characters. You know, and there's not that much. Like, I think in the UK TV, there isn't as much queer representation as there is in America now. It's changing a lot, and especially like trans representation. There's this really great documentary on Netflix called Disclosure, which talks about trans representation and like how it's evolved over the years and how media has like contributed to how people think about trans people in a negative way.
So they're saying not in a positive way, isn't it?
They do a
They see
history
the
of
art.
they do a history of how it's like was terrible
Yeah.
until like now how it's actually changed and gotten a bit better.
Yeah.
And they talk about different shows that have really not been great when it's come to trans characters
Right.
and stuff like that.
If you think back to the first Ace Ventura movie,
That was in the.
yes,
that
I'm
was in
sure
there.
that would have been,
That was
because
in there.
looking
Yeah,
back
yeah.
now,
That was in it.
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's just,
yeah.
you're like, I remember as a young kid, I watched it and I was like,
I love that movie as a kid.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Ha, silly Jim Carrey. And then I look back now, I watched it a few years ago and I'm like,
Right,
oh
yeah.
my goodness.
And they start throwing up.
Doesn't
This
hold
hasn't
up
aged
now.
Well,
Doesn't
yeah.
hold up
When
now.
he's like crying in the shower after he kissed,
And then
he
he's
kissed
like-
a trans woman. It's just like,
washing his mouth
Yeah.
out. And
Don't
stuff.
say it. Don't
just
say
like,
it.
it's just like, oh, okay, like,
Yeah.
You have to forgive them at the time. There's no offense at the time.
Yeah, at the time there was
You've
no
got to
like.
be careful because
Yeah.
there's hate
That's the-
and there's
yeah.
just playing on
There's
tropes of people.
stupidity.
Yeah.
And that's because times have just changed.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that we all watched that we loved as kids. We'll look back and think, oh, this is. But there was a different time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
But it was mostly sort of trans panic stuff. Like anytime there was a trans
Trans-panic.
character, well, it was just, oh, there's a person, and then they're like, what? That's a trans person. They're like, huh? And like, oh no, I
Yeah.
There's
I
a
found
film
attractive.
called
It's, yeah,
The
that's-
Crying Game. I studied that in film. Have you seen it?
Okay, I have.
We interviewed the director, didn't we? What was the name? The head of the National Television Studio.
Oh,
At the first studio.
yes.
He was the head of the National Film and Television Studio, wasn't he? Who was the director? What was his name?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, we interviewed. Yeah. Oh, anyway. go on. His name.
I watched the first half of that film
Yeah.
when I was younger, and I literally switched off like when they killed him, and because they kidnapped this British soldier. The IRA kidnapped this British soldier,
Yeah.
and then it's about this friendship between one of the kidnappers and this kidnapped British soldier, and then after a bit they're like, oh, they're not going to capitulate to our demands, so they just kill him. And then like he says, oh, could you just check in with my girlfriend? or whatever?
Yeah.
She's a bit different than most girls. And,
Yeah.
and so they kill, and he feels really bad because they sort of became like friends. And so he goes and literally that's when I switched off the film. And then someone was like, you didn't, and someone explained the rest of the plot to me. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Why did you turn it off? I thought.
Yeah.
Because it was late and I had to go
right.
to school the next day. So like, it was on telly and I was like, oh, this is a film people talk about. And I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. It's a kidnapped soldier and it's a kidnap thing. And then like, I just I would never have seen that second
It's like turning
part.
off the Sixth Sense halfway through and going.
Not knowing what's going
You
on.
turned it off before the end, yeah? What?
Yes, it's like,
Do you know what?
Yes.
So
'Cause I
basically,
have seen it recently.
Have you seen it? Basically, in the film, like, because you mentioned the girlfriend's different. I remember watching that in class, and basically, there's a full frontal scene, and the girlfriend doesn't have a vagina, like she has a penis because she's trans, and all the boys in my class freaked out.
Yeah.
Like they were like. They're all freaked,
Yeah.
like, and
Because of course they hadn't known about it, probably.
yeah, because you don't know about
Yeah,
it,
of
and then
course,
when you
yeah,
see that scene, you're like,
yeah.
oh my god, and yeah, it's mad.
So is it a real trans? What?
There's
There's no CGI, is there?
no, well, I think that was actually a dude. 'cause
a male actor playing
Yeah.
like the female,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
but he was, he looked like a lady. You wouldn't
Okay.
have guessed, you know.
Yeah, you
it's
wouldn't have
also
guessed.
it's
Especially back
also
then.
the person in. It's also the pharaoh person in Stargate.
Really?
Yeah, they're sort of.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's sort of this again. There's quite interesting look, like kind of this strange, this kind of aristocratic look about him. And so he's done a couple of films.
Oh,
Which is,
Yeah.
But obviously that was sometimes people do like a role like that, and then they kind of strugle to do
Yeah, that's the thing.
things afterwards.
So would that have been one of the first trans? It was a trans character, real life. Then
It wasn't a trans
not-
actor, but like
Yeah.
it was
the
the
trans
representation.
it's trans representation, which at the
one of the
time there
first.
was like panic of like, oh my God, like.
I suppose they'd be non-binary, possibly.
Yeah, now they've been
you'd
turned
say probably
non-binary, yeah.
Has society just defined what the word queer means yet for people that don't know?
Queer, it's an umbrella term.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyone, like, you know.
I thought that was offensive. No?
Yeah, that's so within our community, we've just taken the word back.
Oh, so it was. That's why I
Yeah,
because
we've just taken the word back and we've just, you know, used it as like just our own and just, you know, for a long time I didn't identify as anything. I was just me. I didn't really label myself. And then
so it could be anything.
Yeah, you're under that community. You're part of the LGBT community. Like, you know, if you label yourself queer, you're part of that community.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like outlier of society sort of thing. I mean, not of. I don't want to say norm, but you know, it's a secondary. It's not the norm. Whatever.
Just it's an umbrella, so it just covers it all.
But does
basically.
trans come under that?
Yeah, you can be trans and queer. Like,
Queer.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So about sexuality, the sex thing is
like you could be a trans person. That's like the biology of who you are, but then you're queer, so that's like your
your sexuality.
Yeah, your sexuality. So
are there sort of more gay clubs or queer clubs now, or have they just stayed the same? I don't really hear about any. Everyone goes on about heaven and all that. But
yeah,
I mean,
there's more male gay clubs like in
yeah.
London, I would say. Like,
but are there? Is there more queer clubs, or do they tend to be gay, lesbian?
I think with the like, it's like a lot of these clubs are run by like gay men, so they are like, you know, they're a mixture of people that will go because it's a good night. But when I go to these clubs, there are queer people there, but I would see predominantly like gay men as well.
I suppose because they're run. It's just got an evolution again of the men being in charge, and then eventually there'll be a woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Patriarchy.
Is the gay? Is Heaven still a club, or was that closed down during?
No, it's still a club.
Still there?
Yeah, there was talks of it closing down though. Yeah.
There's COVID. I think
COVID
unfortunately
fucked
it's
everything
like
up.
massacred a lot of pubs just generally in nightclubs and venues.
Everyone's gone down.
Like all these places. I don't know. I drove a different way to somewhere the other day, and there used to be loads of places that were pubs, and I was like, oh, that used to be a pub. That used to be a pub.
Just closed down.
Like village place. Like we were driving through the countryside, and it was loads of nice little pubs. You know what I mean? They're all gone. So
couldn't hack it.
COVID. Yeah.
Oh, but you don't go. I don't really hear you say you're going out to a club. I don't think I've ever heard you say you've gone to a club or a pub.
Sir, I went out the other day.
Oh, really?
Yes, on a school night, on a weekday, and it was a fun night out. But like we started for some reason. I started drinking Steins.
Is that beer?
2 pints of beer, and it was like 6.9%.
Oh, the German word.
Yeah,
Stein.
it's like a double. It's like 2 pints in a big glass,
Wow.
and they were nice. And then we had a couple of them, and then it just went down. It went off the rails very quickly, and we went to watch Maverick.
What's that?
Top Gun
Cinema. Oh, okay, right.
in the cinema, and we drank some beers there, and then we went and drank some.
Oh my
It
God!
was-
Wow, you really went out.
Yeah. And it reminded me of when I was a younger man, we used to just go and buy like 4-pack and a Burger King, and then go cinema. And then we used to we used to sit there drink like a 4-pack and eat the Burger King stuff, and then like security would come.
Living the
and be
best
like,
life, yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a great time.
That's all you ever want.
And then like security would come, and they'd be like, dude, what? And they go, what? Just having a bit of food and just having a drink.
Just chilling, man.
It's fine. Nowadays they come out with the night vision goggles.
And a kosh.
Be careful.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They like creep around.
I don't want you like hang them up.
Well, it's to stop you recording.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, because
right.
it flashes. Because if you have it will show the
Infrared, it
lens.
shows you.
The lens will show. Yeah. So
I hadn't thought about
it's
that.
not like it was in the old days. Yeah.
No.
Oh, but that's what I
We
remember.
could just get drunk, get rowdy in the cinema.
I used to work outside this nightclub in Watford, and at about 11, so I'd start at like 10 o'clock, but by sort of 11:30, this guy had obviously had his night out.
Oh gosh.
It's a little chubby fella, half gothic,
Yeah.
little podgy, like all soft skin. He was about 21, and he always used to come back at like about 11:30, walking back home.
Yeah.
So everyone's going this way towards the town, and he'd come back, and he'd have a little rolled up McDonald's bag at 11, half
my
11 going
gosh.
home, and I thought, that's all I want. I want to be in by midnight. He's going home. He's got his burgers. He's going to watch South Park. He's going to play a couple of computer games and go to sleep.
Oh.
That's it. I just want him as
Best
a friend.
life, yeah.
And I'm here like,
Just sat
and he's going across the crowd with his little bag, his little food bag on the way home. Great.
Being sober in environments where everyone's drunk is
It highlights the
awful. Because I used to like finish work. I don't know, I can't remember why, but there was times I was like finishing work, and then I'd wait for the night bus, and the only place opens at McDonald's, and it's like 2 a.m. And like I remember Friday and Saturday nights were awful.
Yeah.
Because like it would just be like a sea of drunk people, and everyone fight their security.
Everyone's crazy. I don't drink, so like,
right,
it's like, because I used to and I've stopped now, but I go out at nights, I have a good time with my friends, but they're all wasted.
Yeah.
Then I go home by myself, catch the night bus, and it's just like, get me home now. Please get me, because everyone's just off their own.
Glazed eyes everywhere.
Yeah.
It's such a different environment. It's such a different experience.
It
you know what I
really
mean?
is. It really is.
Well, when you work in the nightclub environment, that's what goes for you're sober and everyone's pissed. And then you start to lose perspective of that these are all drunk people. You think these are people. This is society. This is the way it is. And you become warped to like them and us. But you forget like most people aren't like this.
It's just,
these people aren't usually like this.
No, and substances do can because some people will tell you, oh well, that just shows the real you, and it just goes.
yeah.
I don't necessarily.
No, I think that's as a general term, it's a disinhibitor because of the part of the brain it allows you to be. If you're angry, it will make you more angry. If you're funny, you'll be more stupid. But you can't blanket everyone.
No. And sometimes people have, stuff going on.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know,
Coping mechanism sometimes when they're just drinking and using substances and stuff like that.
oh, of course, people self-medicate. That's most. I mean, most of the people who do have, problems, substance abuse problems, they do have issues going on. They're sort of pushing them.
What
to do
was
that,
the night out for then? I haven't heard you have a night out like that before.
Oh.
Work? Was it work?
No. It's a friend. He was allowed out.
Allowed out.
Yeah.
Again on a school night.
No, he was on holiday. Actually, he's a teacher and he's on holiday.
It was a school night then.
Well, he was on holiday, but he does have 2 young kids at home.
What does he teach?
He teaches IT.
Oh, okay.
He's head of a department. As well.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
A teacher is in school teaching.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. IT.
It's just GCSE
typing
and A-level and stuff. Programming and things.
Oh, program.
And bits and just IT and, it's an important skill to learn now.
Did you nearly go down any sort of routes educationally? Like, did you have a job that you thought you would have wanted to be?
What, teaching?
No, anything. When you was at school, did you think, I'd like to be a footballer or something?
No, that's the trouble.
You didn't know.
That's the trouble.
It's philosophy.
That's the trouble. That's why I did the philosophy. Yeah, so
Trying to find out yourself.
So I could get headhunted into those top flight philosophy jobs. You know what I mean?
Well paid
in the city.
I should do it.
Yeah, the philosophy consultants. The
Well
head
needed
of philosophy,
finance in HSBC.
Yeah.
2000.
Just what they need.
Yeah.
Oh God. So you had nothing. You really didn't know what you were going to do.
Yeah, that's why and then I did a bit of media work, and that's where I went off to do the script writing and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Did some media work from there, and then now I work for a union. So I've gone a strange path,
Yeah.
So we all have our journeys, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, it's timely. Unions, they're coming. You'll be none short of work. The prices of things keep going up.
Well, yes,
We'll be unionising.
we're balloting to strike currently, so that's our big push right now.
Oh, I forgot to the unions threatening to strike.
Yeah, well, we are.
The union
We
body.
are putting a ballot out. We are literally putting a vote out to our membership to strike. With nursing.
And what is it? Paying hours.
It is working conditions and pay.
Working conditions, really?
As well, yeah.
What does that mean more specifically?
The treatment, hours, extra time working. It's treatment for patients. You know what I mean? Because this is nurses. Nursing. So it's money. It's money for treatment and money. Patient care because that's on the slide as well. So because as we would say, as I would say, a nurse's working conditions is a patient's healing conditions.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's the old statement about teachers. Teachers' working environment is a pupil's learning environment.
Yeah.
So you make that work environment. You guess what? You pay them. You treat them. You treat them decently. It's a very skilled job.
Yeah.
I can't do nursing. Can you do nursing?
No.
No. I don't want to do it as well. It'd scare the hell out of me. It's just the thought of it. And some of the stuff they have to do is,
yeah, of course,
awful, clean stuff up and wipe the stuff and do all that. And having to deal with people who are all over the place, not coming from the best, not having the best time of their life. Let's say. So yes, it's important to give them decent pay and improve their conditions to improve their ability to help people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it's funny when you say it like that. You don't want these people stressed and annoyed when they're the actions of what they're doing are to look after other people.
Yeah.
That's what I've never understood with like teachers being low pay. You go,
Yeah.
you do realise they're
Ridiculous.
spending more of your time with that child,
yeah.
when the blueprints of who they are being, well, we can get them a bit cheaper.
They're a part of shaping that child, like,
and
to who
you're
they're going to be. Like.
That's the thing. Their job is really important.
Yeah.
And even like train drivers, and they train drivers get a bad rep, and only a small percentage of those people striking on the trains right now. I think it's like 7 or 8% of train drivers, and the rest are signalmen and like cabin crew and ticket people and station staff. They're the majority, so it's not the
Train
it's not the train
driver,
driver. Oh, the train drivers get
I can do
40,000
that,
a year
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, I can't drive a train. Can you drive a train?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to. I'd be too scared.
That's the thing. And also, this is a person who has responsibility for maybe 300-400 people,
Yeah.
their lives and their safety. Yeah, I think you should,
they're
they
not-
should
a bit
possibly.
more.
They're not that important until something goes wrong.
That's so true, though.
Yeah.
And it's all that. Well, what does it take? You push a lever, you pull a lever. You go, well, I think there's a little bit
Yeah,
more.
it's a bit more to that. It's a lot of
Engineering and-
responsibility.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think we should be paying these people a decent,
I agree.
a decent wage. You know.
Yeah, the teaching thing. I mean, nursing. It's laughable that all the most important things are where you get
Low
paid for that.
pay.
Well, you should like doing it. You should like. Well, no.
What was it? They offered. I should remember this because I listened to a seminar thing yesterday, Friday. God,
It's Friday.
that was yesterday. God, it seemed like about 100 years ago. Anyway, I think they've offered the current pay offer for nurses. I believe is an extra 83 pence a day.
For nursing, bodies, death,
What?
injuries, everything.
That is actually disgusting.
It's like, don't offer us anything,
insulting.
but don't
Yeah.
give us that.
Yeah, it's
Just say we're not
insulting.
giving you anything.
Yeah,
That is-
yeah.
Because to
Wow.
offer it shows your value. Just say we're tight-fisted, you're not getting anything.
And I believe they've had a pay freeze at least for 3 years. I believe. Again, I should know these numbers off the top of my head. At least, let's say at least for 3 years. So this is coming off the back of a pay freeze.
Oh,
It hasn't
Yeah,
gone
of
up.
course, yeah,
So,
yeah.
and inflation now is they're predicting 12% by the end of the year, whatever the hell. So, and also after COVID as well. I'm going to stop talking and get to my soapbox in a minute. Also after COVID, the issue is burnout, and that's staff retention. They're talking a lot about and burnout. There's a lot of people leaving and about to leave, like because normally,
Long term as well.
yeah, a lot of very good people who've worked and 10,
been pushed
very
too
experienced,
far.
5, 10,
Yeah.
15 years under their belt,
Yeah.
and they're saying, you know what,
They're done. They
I'm
can't
just
do
done.
anymore.
I can't do anymore, and I'm being expected to do more and more and more. There's
If
50.
you put up with that, then you put up with this.
Yes,
Then, yeah.
we're being constantly asked to do more, work longer.
And then you get a
work-
shortage of nurses, and
Yeah.
you don't have these people who are supposed to be like, in the NHS doing all these things. And then it's like, who do we have in our hospitals then?
Well, they just
know?
subcontract.
No one.
out.
It
Exactly,
seems-
yeah.
There's 50,000 nurse shortage right now. 50,000.
They
nurses.
they just go with subcontract. They just get somebody in that's there for the day, and then they don't know anything. They don't know who these people are. Then somebody else comes in the next day, and who are you? Oh, that nurse is gone, and now it's like insane. It's like nothing changes unless it's forced down the government's throat.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they got a pay during the pandemic. They got a pay rise. During it, when we were all locked down, they had to give up themselves.
People
a pay
were
rise.
struggling and all this kind of stuff. It's madness.
I do have to say,
Yeah.
we'll talk about funner things in a
Yeah.
sec. I promise.
Well, we've only got 10 minutes.
We won't.
We've got-
Okay. So, there was something in the news recently. A video came out about Rishi Sunak. Now, Rishi Sunak, for those
Is this the video where he was in this area and he was talking about taking money from?
Yes,
Yep.
Tunbridge Wells.
Yep.
He was talking to that's his constituency. This is the man who's in charge of the money. He was the Chancellor of the
It's a video
Exchequer.
that's resurfaced from time.
From a year or two ago,
Oh,
within the
wow.
last couple of years, I believe. So, because it's literally he's talking about when he was when he was Chancellor, and I think it was New Statesman magazine. But yes, okay. And he said, well, he didn't basically say. He said, this was the quote. He said, yes, we've been working hard over the last few years to take money from the poorest areas and then redistribute that to the richest areas like yours.
Why
Yeah.
was he saying that? What was the context?
Because he was talking to Tory
Rich
party people in his constituency. And he was saying, yes, because Labour put in a lot of things to increase funding, to put funding into some of the deprived areas and poor areas that needed it. Yeah. So we worked very hard over the last few years to get rid of all of that. And this is, And so we've been funneling this money from the people who need it most to the people who don't. And it literally categorically said it. And it's like, yes, this is not a mistake.
He didn't stutter. He didn't. It was just like straight
No, but this
up.
isn't an accident.
Yeah.
This whole thing that's happened over the last 12 years isn't an accident.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not us screwing up. It's not accidentally screwing up. We are aware of it. It is
proactive.
It is the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It is our intention to do this, and we have been very good at it.
Yeah. It's messed
And
up.
then just, so which one do you want? You go, well,
It's either that or the vaguely sort of racist.
Well,
one.
yeah.
Just like,
well, as I said, talking about every politician will just go a little bit further. What will you put up with? What will you put up with? What will you put up with? Until you do something, and you can keep talking and marching all you like. They will always go one further, until you're basically going, right, we can't feed ourselves now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's as far as you'll go.
it's like, which one do you want to lose, a hand or a foot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to pick one.
Literally.
Just like,
And choose now, because in next week we're going to do the shoulders. It's like it will get worse.
Literally.
We're the best at this time. Before Johnson, everyone's complaining about politicians.
Yeah.
Then he comes in, and now this lot.
Yeah.
It's just what will you? How much will they put up with?
it's like Game of Thrones, right?
Okay, I haven't seen it, but go
Okay,
on.
Game of Thrones is a
I get what- yeah.
medieval fantasy
Yeah.
thing, and it's all about power and families and all these kings. And basically, they start off and they have a rubbish king, and they get rid of him. And then they put someone in who's even worse. And they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then they get rid of him, and then they put someone in who's nuts and like starts killing people for fun. And they're like, oh, for God. And they get rid of him, and then they put someone in who's somehow utterly incompetent and even worse. And they're like, oh, for God's. And and it's just a constant cycle of them just
terrible decisions,
getting
basically.
rid of these people in charge and somehow managing to have something worse in a different way. You know
Maybe
what I mean?
there is a deep philosophical thing about the representation of modern society.
Yeah.
And that is the point.
Yeah.
The point is that everyone's awful. You
Pretty
can't
much.
trust anyone in power.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
so true. You can't trust anyone in power.
David, how you feeling, mate? It's a hell of a show. You feeling good, or what you got that rope for? Take that rope from around your neck. Oh, we've got to end on something good. So what's your podcast called? It's a Queer Thing.
Yeah.
How often are you doing it? It's every week.
Yeah, it's weekly. It comes out every Wednesday.
What sort of things have you got in your back of your head for coming up? What are you going to be attending to? Shows, people, anything?
Next week I'm going to be talking about because in queer media we people like the relationship stuff. So there's a couple called their ship name. It's like the relationship name. You mash the two names together.
Their ship name. I
Yeah,
hadn't heard that
ship
before.
name.
Okay.
Yeah, you mash two names
I feel a
together and
bit
you
more
create.
modern.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called Clexo, and
What's the names?
Clark and Lexa. You just mash them together.
I love the way life moves forward every generation. Go on. Okay, ship
But
names.
in that show that I'm going to talk about,
Yeah.
it kind of catapulted this bury your gays thing in a big way.
Bury your game.
Yeah, that's the trope I was
that's what
talking
you're
about.
saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
character.
like there's a show called The 100, and the showrunner killed off one of the characters, and people went mad. And it kind of shows how we have power when it comes to like what we can say about TV, and people were mad and talking about it on Twitter, and essentially he ruined his own show, but people stopped watching. And
What's the show?
Called The 100. It's finished now.
Right, okay.
But it's just, it's about how fandoms now have the power to really make or break a
What's
show.
the 100? What is it?
It's it's like this sci-fi kind of show about these young kids who get sent to Earth.
But what I mean is, what's the 100? Is it 100 kids?
Yeah, 100 kids. Yeah, they get
from
sent
a
to Earth.
space station or something.
Yeah, space station,
yeah.
get sent to Earth, and all this kind of. There's like 5, 6, 7 seasons of it. It's but
Why are they sent here?
Because they escaped Earth. I
yeah,
think.
because basically they're on a space station and
Yeah.
it's becoming inhabitable, and Earth was inhabitable, but they're going to try and see if they can live on Earth.
But do we know they're here?
What do you mean?
Does the humans here now know that they're coming?
No, because that is a factor. Because there are humans on Earth
Yeah.
who are like don't know that these
Oh,
kids come,
okay,
and there's
right.
like a kind of battle between.
It's
But they're
supposed to.
children.
It's like Mad Max. Like the world's gone
it's
mad.
kind of
now.
like that. Yeah,
And
that's
then
a good way
some
to
people
describe
fled
it.
to a space station, and like civilized people fled to space.
Oh, they're
space
coming
station.
back.
And then they
Yeah.
sort of went back and checked. After a couple hundred years, they were like, "Oh, we can't really live up here. We
Yeah.
need to go check on
It's a
Earth."
Philip K. Dick story. About something
Most
like
things
that.
are. He was a speed addict who wrote hundreds and hundreds of mad
Knock
short
'em out,
stories. Yeah. So
The 100. And do they have special powers, or are they just
No,
people?
they're just people. But like the like the girl who's called Lexa. So the people who are still on Earth when these kids come down, they're called grounders.
Yeah.
And Lexa is the commander, like the leader of these grounders. And then she gets with Clark, who's one of the kids from the space station.
Oh, okay,
And they have a relationship, but it's a whole thing. And I'm going to be talking about that next
Okay,
week,
there you
basically. Yeah. It's just like,
Oh yeah, we need to get to the queer bit about it. I was just trying to hold on to the. So is that still on?
No, it's finished.
Oh,
it's finished. It
dead.
feels like, yeah, it's gone. It's finished. Yeah.
So, and you was talking about how it represented.
Yeah, how like
Okay.
yeah, you know, because basically through the death of Lexa, fans were so mad that they created like this convention called Klexicon, and it like, it allowed like people like who loves queer media to come together and
Right, to
talk about
celebrate
their
that
favorite
character,
shows, and
okay.
then actors who have played queer characters in the past come to the
But
convention.
do these what's the thing called? What do you call it when the not fridging? What do you call
Bury Your Gay.
There you go.
Yeah.
What are the actors saying in all this over periods? Are they
Some of
ignoring it all?
Some of them are aware of it and like they obviously know it sucks, but sometimes you don't have say over like what happens to your
So they're
character.
just saying I'm an actor.
So yeah, you know, and then so, like a lot because it's becoming such a big thing now. A lot of showrunners are aware of this and
Right.
are
Oh, okay,
trying
right.
to not do that.
Right.
You know.
okay. Oh
'cause,
right.
yeah.
Yes. It just needs volume to make people. It's like politics. They won't do
Yeah.
anything until you force them to.
Yeah.
Nothing taken out with goodwill. It's until enough people say you ain't doing this anymore.
Because the showrunner recently, like I think a couple of years back, he realised he made a mistake as
Right,
well,
okay.
and he said it. Like he's like, yeah, maybe I should have not
Right.
done that. But
I
hey,
think this show has shown its power to the people. That
Power
it
to the
doesn't matter what it is, fridging or what's the other one, shipping.
yeah, shipping, very gay, all the
What's
yeah.
shipping?
Shipping's like
I've lost. I've got.
shipping's basically like when you've got like a show and there's a couple and you like them together, you ship them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And people often write fan fiction and stuff
Yeah.
about this. It gets a little weird sometimes.
Yeah,
with some
fan
of it.
fiction gets weird.
You know what I mean?
And fan art gets a bit weird too.
Have you written any?
Deviant art. No. Just stay off that.
Have you written any little things?
When I was younger, I tried, but I stopped.
Okay. What was there a theme?
No, I just
Was it a
thought
band?
because I like. I wish. No, I don't know. I think I was a big Buffy fan when I was a
Right,
kid.
okay.
Oh,
That's your
So I thought,
influences.
let me write some Willow and Tep. It was just not
Okay.
good, so I
Oh,
stopped.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you write anything uni? What sort of did that follow a theme or not?
Stuff, you know.
Was it all comic book stuff?
No, not at all. No.
What must have been A type? Was there a horror? Was it a
I
science?
did a bit of horror, a
What-
bit of
and there was no
bit of
theme
action,
that
bit of drama
tended
and
to-
stuff. You know.
And what was the sort of, was it always somebody struggling to? No.
You know, well, yeah. I mean, it was like dramas and stuff. You know what I mean? They were like followed a dramatic art.
Can you remember any of them?
Yeah.
Go on, what was it quickly? We'll end on this.
I did do something. I wrote a thing about like, about like the porn industry.
I'd see that was quite
the
specific.
adult film industry and stuff.
Love it.
What
About
as
pilot
like a
for
real
that. Yeah,
what
the
journalism?
pilot. Yeah, no, but just like.
And
you
what
know,
was that
fictional
theme?
pilot.
What was it? About woman's
Just
struggle.
drama, you know.
Yeah, but what was the theme?
At the end of the first episode, this woman killed herself, basically.
Yeah, but what was
That
she
was the hook,
struggling?
'cause
What-
she
she ended up in. Was it a bad way? She ended up in prostitution.
kind of, but I didn't want it to be like yes. I mean, it was about exploitation in the industry
Oh, okay.
because I mean that is a big issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, we're going to get on.
Okay.
Well, we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up.
Well,
But yes,
one man
it's a horrible industry.
One man who
and,
isn't
you know,
exploited is our producer David. He's been pressing the buttons. So that's the show, David. Thank you very much. Oh, his motorbike's already started.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. You're welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life.